And so the farms were kind of about equal size. And they extended from where the north stone wall is today and the south stone wall. But the original property ran up to what Broadway, but in those days it was called Cronolette, and all the way to the river. And the reason it did that was, back in the day, the river was the super highway of this area. That's where you could bring munition, you could bring anything down, supplies, munitions, whatever you needed to bring down the river. That's why it was critical. It was a lifeline. Originally, there was a fort established up in Fort Bellefontaine in North County, but it was actually used periodically. It wasn't used all the time. It was used basically to store wares and warehouse materials like ammunition. But eventually they wanted a permanent facility. So in 1827 they established an arsenal here at what we now call 35 South 2nd Street, but originally was on Cronolette Boulevard. And they started building a building boom. And basically over the next 20 years, all the white limestone buildings you see around here started being constructed. And the reason it's got a dome on it, obviously protected from the elements. And the other thing was, there's a top they used to flip over the top to preserve it too. But then what we basically did was, this goes back to the bicentennial also, was that we put the plastic dome over the top of it. And as you can see, you can adjust it for times and periods of seasons. It's supposed to be a model. This is it. The bottom line in this is, it's funny because that's why the history kind of comes back to this. Yes, this looks is very minute detail, even though it's a model of a facility. Obviously, you can see how you can train and you can learn about what you're going to face when you go to the facility. As a matter of fact, when the special ops folks came back, our director at the time, Tish Long, through intermediaries, she didn't actually meet the folks. She just said, was this information helpful? He said, yes, it was critical because we felt like we had been there before. And that's classic, that's classically what we've always been involved in throughout our entire history. We realized here at the AGSI, we're still in the paper map business, we still do that, but the idea is digital data is where we're going because they could move that. And so you could update stuff quicker and better and faster. So we move more and more towards the digital arena, still keep our map products for our customers, but move more and more into that arena. And also develop things like remote replication, which allowed our customers to actually produce their own maps in the field. And they can just overlay the data they need. We have the latest data, currency, put the data out, they could overlay the data. They just wanted to just where the river systems were. They could print a map that just had river systems on it, or lines, communication, roads, power lines, bridges, stuff like that. And so